You know, sometimes the most powerful celebrity stories aren't about scandals or drama, they're about vulnerability, growth, and the courage to speak your truth even when it's complicated. Today, we're diving into one of those rare moments when a celebrity pulls back the curtain and gives us real, unfiltered insight into their personal life. We're talking about rapper, actor, and activist Common, who has finally broken his silence about his relationship with comedian and actress Tiffany Haddish. For months, fans have been speculating about what really happened between these two incredibly talented individuals who seemed perfect for each other on paper. Well, the wait is over. Common has opened up in a way that's both surprising and deeply human, sharing details about their connection, their challenges, and ultimately what led to their split. This isn't your typical celebrity breakup story, it's a masterclass in emotional maturity and honest self-reflection. So let's dive into what Common finally revealed about his relationship with Tiffany Haddish, and why his honesty about love, timing, and personal growth has everyone talking. Before we get into what Common recently revealed, let's revisit how this beautiful love story began, because honestly, it was one of those Hollywood romances that had everyone rooting for them from day one. Common and Tiffany Haddish first connected during the pandemic, which already made their relationship unique. While the world was isolating and many people were struggling with loneliness, these two found each other and created something beautiful during one of the most challenging times in recent history. Their relationship became public in 2020, and from the outside, it looked absolutely magical. Here was Common, the conscious rapper, the thoughtful actor, the man who's always been known for his wisdom and spiritual depth, paired with Tiffany, the hilarious, authentic, and incredibly resilient comedian who had overcome tremendous personal challenges to achieve her dreams. They seemed to complement each other perfectly. Common brought stability and grounding to Tiffany's high-energy life, while she brought joy, laughter, and spontaneity to his more serious world. Their social media posts together radiated genuine happiness and affection. What made Common and Tiffany's relationship so captivating to fans was how they celebrated each other's strengths and supported each other's growth. This wasn't just about two celebrities dating, it was about two people who genuinely seemed to make each other better. Common has always been vocal about his commitment to personal development, therapy, and emotional growth. Tiffany, despite her comedic exterior, has been incredibly open about her trauma, her healing journey, and her determination to break generational cycles of pain. Together, they represented something powerful, the possibility of healthy love between two people who had done the work on themselves. They attended therapy together, supported each other's careers, and weren't afraid to show vulnerability in their relationship. Their public appearances together were always filled with genuine affection. You could see the way they looked at each other, the way they laughed together, and the way they supported each other during interviews and events. It felt authentic in a way that many celebrity relationships don't. So when news broke in late 2021 that Common and Tiffany had ended their relationship, fans were genuinely shocked and heartbroken. This wasn't a couple that anyone saw coming apart, especially given how solid and mature their relationship appeared to be. The initial reports about their breakup were relatively vague, citing the typical, busy schedules, and different priorities that are often mentioned when celebrities split. Both Common and Tiffany handled the announcement with grace, emphasizing their continued respect and care for each other. But fans were left with so many questions. How do two people who seemed so perfect together, who were doing the work and growing together, suddenly decide they're not meant to be? What really happened behind the scenes that the public didn't see? For months, both Common and Tiffany remained relatively quiet about the specifics of their split, leading to endless speculation and theories from fans and media outlets. The mystery only made people more curious about what had really gone wrong. Now, finally, Common has broken his silence and shared some deeply personal insights about what happened between him and Tiffany. In recent interviews and conversations, he's opened up in a way that's both surprising and incredibly mature. According to Common's recent statements, their relationship challenges weren't about lack of love or incompatibility, they were about timing, personal growth phases, and the complex reality of two people who were both working through their own healing journeys. Common has revealed that while he and Tiffany had genuine love and connection, they were at different stages in their personal development work. He's spoken about how sometimes two people can be right for each other in many ways, but wrong for each other at a particular moment in time. What's particularly striking about Common's revelations is his refusal to blame anyone or create a villain in their story. Instead, he's approached the discussion with the same consciousness and thoughtfulness that he brings to his music and activism. In his recent openness about the relationship, Common has touched on some really profound themes that go way beyond typical celebrity breakup explanations. He's talked about the challenge of maintaining individual identity within a relationship, especially when both people are strong, successful individuals with their own missions and purposes. Common has also discussed the pressure of public relationships and how external expectations can sometimes interfere with the natural flow of a romantic connection. He's mentioned feeling like they were performing their relationship for others at times, rather than just being present with each other. Perhaps most significantly, Common has spoken about his own patterns in relationships and how his connection with Tiffany helped him recognize areas where he still needed to grow. He's been remarkably honest about his own contributions to their challenges, which takes incredible self-awareness and courage. He's also addressed the idea that love isn't always enough to make a relationship work, that timing, life circumstances, and personal readiness all play crucial roles in whether two people can build something lasting together. While this story focuses on Common's recent revelations, it's important to acknowledge that Tiffany Haddish has also been gracious and mature in how she's discussed their relationship publicly. In various interviews since their split, Tiffany has echoed many of Common's sentiments about their connection being real and meaningful, even though it ultimately didn't work out long-term. She's spoken about the growth she experienced during their relationship and the things she learned about herself. Tiffany has also been honest about the challenges of balancing a high-profile career with personal relationships, especially when both people are dealing with demanding schedules and personal healing work. What's beautiful about both of their approaches is that neither has tried to rewrite history or diminish what they shared. They've both acknowledged that their relationship was significant and valuable, even though it didn't last forever. One of the most powerful aspects of Common's recent openness is how he's used his experience with Tiffany to share broader wisdom about love, relationships, and personal growth. He's talked about the difference between loving someone and being able to build a life with them, acknowledging that these don't always align even when we want them to. This kind of nuanced understanding of relationships is rare in celebrity culture, where breakups are often portrayed in black and white terms. Common has also discussed the importance of being honest about your own readiness for partnership, rather than trying to force something to work because it looks good on paper or because other people expect it to succeed. His insights about the relationship have become teaching moments about emotional maturity, self-awareness, and the courage to make difficult decisions even when they're painful. Rather than viewing their relationship as a failure because it ended, Common has framed his time with Tiffany as a period of significant personal growth and learning. He's spoken about how she challenged him, supported him, and helped him see aspects of himself that he might not have discovered otherwise. This perspective represents a really healthy way to process relationships that don't result in marriage or long-term partnership. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, Common has emphasized what went right and how those positive elements contributed to his continued evolution as a person. He's also talked about how his relationship with Tiffany helped him become clearer about what he wants and needs in future partnerships, suggesting that their connection served an important purpose in his life journey even though it wasn't meant to be permanent. What's particularly touching about Common's recent revelations is how much respect and genuine care he continues to express for Tiffany as a person and as an artist. He's spoken about her strength, her talent, and her journey with admiration and affection. This kind of post-breakup respect is unfortunately rare in celebrity culture, where former partners often take shots at each other or try to control the narrative. Common and Tiffany's ability to maintain genuine goodwill toward each other speaks to their individual maturity and the authentic foundation of their original connection. Common has also expressed support for Tiffany's continued success and happiness, demonstrating that love can transform into different kinds of care and support even when romantic partnership isn't sustainable. The response to Common's honest revelations about his relationship with Tiffany has been overwhelmingly positive, with fans and industry peers praising his maturity and vulnerability. Many people have expressed appreciation for his willingness to discuss relationships in such a nuanced, thoughtful way, especially in a culture that often demands simple explanations for complex emotional situations. Relationship experts and therapists have also highlighted Common's approach as a healthy example of how to process and discuss past relationships, emphasizing growth and learning rather than blame or regret. The conversation has sparked broader discussions about timing in relationships, the importance of individual healing work, and the reality that love alone isn't always sufficient to sustain long-term partnership. Common's openness about his relationship with Tiffany represents a significant evolution in how he discusses his personal life publicly. Throughout his career, he's been relatively private about his romantic relationships, preferring to focus on his artistic and activist work. This level of vulnerability and detailed sharing suggests that Common has reached a new level of comfort with transparency and teaching through his personal experiences. He's using his platform not just to promote his work, but to share wisdom that might help others navigate their own relationship challenges. His approach also demonstrates the integration of his spiritual and therapeutic work into how he processes and discusses life experiences, showing that personal development isn't just something he talks about, it's something he actively lives and applies. As Common continues to share insights from his relationship with Tiffany, it's clear that he's approaching his future with greater self-awareness and clarity about what he wants in partnership. His willingness to examine his own patterns, acknowledge his growth areas, and learn from his experiences suggests that he's becoming an even more conscious and intentional partner for whoever might be in his future. The wisdom he's gained from his time with Tiffany, about timing, compatibility, individual growth within relationships, and the difference between love and sustainable partnership, will likely serve him well in future connections. Most importantly, his example of how to discuss past relationships with respect, honesty, and growth-mindedness provides a blueprint for others who are navigating similar challenges in their own lives. You know what struck me most about Common's revelations regarding his relationship with Tiffany Haddish? It's his refusal to turn their story into a simple narrative with heroes and villains. Instead, he's given us something much more valuable, a real, honest look at how two good people can love each other and still not be meant for forever. In a world where we're often told that love should conquer all, Common's honesty about the complex realities of relationships is actually quite revolutionary. He's showing us that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is recognize when something isn't working, even when it hurts to admit it. His openness about his own growth areas and patterns takes real courage, especially as a public figure. But by sharing his truth, he's given permission for the rest of us to be honest about our own relationship journeys, the beautiful parts and the challenging parts alike. Both Common and Tiffany deserve credit for how they've handled their split and their continued respect for each other. They've shown us that it's possible to end a romantic relationship without ending love, it just transforms into a different kind of care and support. As we watch both of them continue to grow and thrive individually, there's something beautiful about knowing that they contributed to each other's evolution, even if they weren't meant to walk the whole path together. Sometimes the most profound love stories aren't about riding off into the sunset, they're about growing together for a season, learning what you needed to learn, and then having the wisdom and courage to love each other enough to let go.